Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be doing some more requested reaction videos, and this video was requested by George Ortiz, and it's going to be Johnny vs. Bubsy, The Woolies Strike Back. Oh boy, how many Bubsy games are there? Jesus, it's the bloody Bubsy invasion. Yeah, let's check out the video, shall we? Let's go.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope everyone here in the USA had a lovely Thanksgiving. But here's something that should help you empty out your stomachs. What the actual shit?
Oh Jesus, here we go. Johnny vs. Bubsy.
So a couple of years back, I looked at the entire Bubsy series. You can catch the video on the card on top, but short and to the point, in case you're crunched for time, his series sucked. There were no real high points, there were problems that just snowballed into oblivion, culminating with the worst of the worst Bubsy 3D on the PlayStation 1.
It was pretty decent.
And after
in
that fiery train wreck, Bubsy was safely presumed dead, and for over 20 years, that was the case. In late 2015, though, the first two Bubsy games were re-released on Steam under the Bubsy Twofer package.
Actually, I think I might have them.
Guess you could do worse, but I think your money would be better spent on an indie title that most likely give you more bang for your buck. Bubsy being re-released was one thing, but little did we know this was just a small teaser of what was to come. The Bobcat goes over 20 years with nothing new, and then suddenly, Bubsy The Woolies Strike Back, a new 2.5D adventure developed by Black Forest Games.
Okay.
Never heard of them until this game, but their previous works included the Guiana Sisters. I've heard of these games at least, never played them, but I didn't hear anything particularly bad about them, but they just kind of exist, you know? I think they were originally supposed to be like the female counterparts to the Super Mario Brothers. Who knows, might be worth looking at later down the road. Surprisingly, this game is still under Accolade, which I honestly thought was a dead company after Bubsy's initial run, but the logo doesn't lie. Evidently, the brand was revived after they were purchased by Billionsoft, a holding company based in Hong Kong. Clearly, they must have thought Bubsy's name still had some worth, and
it could have had some weight.
Internet personalities have utterly trashed Bubsy throughout the years, yours truly included, maybe they thought there was no such thing as bad publicity and wanted to make a quick buck? That's ballsy if that's the case, but fucking hell, $30! The Twofer compilation, 2 games, was $5, and you're selling the new game for $30? Let's make things clear now. This game ain't fucking worth $30. Let's get things started. Bubsy's back at home, probably doing some deep personal reflecting, and then suddenly his arch enemies, the Woolies, crash land on his house and steal his prized golden ball of yarn, because I guess he has nothing else worth living for. Bubsy's determined to chase down the Woolies to get his ball of yarn back. I don't know, maybe I was expecting a little more given the blatant Star Wars homage in the subtitle, but the Woolies end up doing nothing more than what they already did in the first game. Either way, that's about it for the plot. Get your golden ball of yarn back. At least we didn't have an obnoxiously long intro like in Bubsy 3D. Seeing as a Bubsy game doesn't set expectations incredibly high to start, to put that very nicely, really. I think it's best if we begin with the positives. The game doesn't look awful, though it's nothing remarkable. It's basically taking a 16-bit game and making everything 3D, with not much effort placed beyond that. The aesthetics are fundamental, passable, but nothing eye-catching. The soundtrack isn't too bad either, again, nothing amazing, but I didn't find it unpleasing to my ears. It's fine. As far as the game goes, well, Bubsy's no longer a confused cornucopia of platformer mascots. He's nowhere near as fast as before, so you don't have to worry about colliding headfirst with just about everything, and the camera is pulled back so that you can actually see what's beyond and above you. He can fall as far as he wants without dying now, and protective power-ups are much easier to come by. His glide is back in action to traverse through tricky obstacles, but it also acts as a sort of double jump now, since he always does this short hop before going into a glide. He can jump on Woolies to defeat them, but now he also has a new pounce attack. He flings forward in a set arc that'll damage anything he runs into, whether it's Woolies or cracked walls that may lead to hidden passageways. Yeah, when it comes to control and whatnot, Bubsy's perfectly fine this time around. I didn't have much issue performing simple acts of jumping or climbing walls, believe me, for the Bubsy series that's an achievement. It's just, unfortunately for the Bobcat, the rest of the game doesn't offer much else. The pounce is a neat idea, and one I'm surprised Bubsy didn't have
Controls
before.
Controls have improved,
you know, it's a fucking Bobcat, but it's clumsy as hell to hit enemies with it on the ground. Don't bother, you're better off just jumping on them. And despite the added amount of defensive shields, the Bobcat still dies in one goddamn hit. You'll have more than enough extra lives to go around, but was a health bar too much to ask for? Maybe an extra hit? Just one? Largely it's a problem during the handful of boss fights. These already go long enough as is, but with Bubsy once again being so fragile, it just makes the battles feel even longer. I mentioned the soundtrack being alright, but the sound design is borderline aggravating, and the main source of anguish is, of course, Bubsy. He just loves to talk, and to be fair, his lines aren't really cringe-inducing. There's even a couple I found legitimately funny.
How am I gliding? I have no idea.
but he just doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. He has a quip for almost everything you do, and God, he loves it when he used the pounce attack.
Double pounce, multi-pounce, ultra pounce!
Oh, easy guys. Yeah.
I didn't think it was possible to overthrow Gex as one of the most talkative fucknuggets in the platforming scene, and I know his big mouth is supposed to be one of his most defining character traits, but holy shit, tone it down a bit if you want it to be endearing. What's funny is that I ran into an audio glitch during my second recording session in the second world where Bubsy's lines didn't load at all. It was a moment of relief, because that meant I can actually focus on everything else for once, you know, if there was much else to focus on. This game is barely over an hour long. You'll finish it in no time if you simply go from left to right and jump over shit, the basic fundamentals of a platformer. There's enemies to jump on, but they rarely pose a threat, and most stage hatches can be simply glided over. I think they were expecting you to explore these levels and find every single ball of yarn, but I didn't bother with that. First of all, the amount of yarn to find in each level is absurd. I'd rather go for 100 coin shine sprites in Super Mario Sunshine. Secondly, there's nothing else to collect in this game besides these balls of yarn. If it's not a defensive shield, it's yarn. It doesn't do anything except make a number go up. Every level has these 5 keys scattered throughout the stage, but the only thing they unlock when you grab them all is a vault that contains more yarn. No extra moves, no extra stages, just more yarn. You can try to finish a stage without dying or something like that to check these boxes off this obligatory list, but there's literally nothing much else these levels offer other than, yeah, you get it at this point. As a result, the stages are remarkably unfulfilling to complete. By the third stage, I got tired trying to grab all these yarn balls and decided to just complete the stages as normal as fast as I could.
They unlocked
to give the game some credit, I did find it sort of exhilarating trying to speedrun through these stages, but again, because Bubsy dies in one hit, I couldn't get much out of that playstyle either. But on one hand, this is easily the best game in the Bubsy series because it does away with a lot of mechanical issues I had with the previous games, and because it isn't an unfinished college project like Bubsy 3D. I can respect the effort given trying to give Bubsy new life and maybe, you know, not be such a fucking embarrassment. On the other hand, it is fucking laughable they considered this worth 30 bucks.
Yeah, this is not.
No,
this is
hell no. This
10
shit
bucks
is barely
at
worth
least.
10. It's perfectly
Yeah, yeah,
and
see,
doesn't
10.
disgust me on
At
a
least
level like
10
the past
bucks.
games did, but what's here is a very basic platformer that
this
sure
isn't
has
a
a solid
triple A
foundation,
experience
but the structure
game,
is made
so
for some of
10
the cheapest
bucks at
plywood
least.
money can buy. You can do much better with 30 bucks, especially on Steam. Wait for the winter sale if you have to play this, but no, just don't waste your time. But apparently, this isn't the last we'll see of Bubsy. According to the end credits, Bubsy will return someday. I mean, if they improve upon this game and make completing levels worth the damn, and add way more levels on top of that, I don't see the harm. Is that really so impossible, seeing as the Bobcat came back and all in the first place?
They do it right.
Fucking asked for this.
They could pull it off.
Nobody did, and yet here he is. So while he's here, I guess he can try and make the most out of it? I don't fucking know. Well, it is the holiday season, and before I head into the Donators Marathon, I got a couple of games left to look at that might make for some decent holiday gifts. Speaking of holiday gifts, this coming weekend, the folks over at Pixel Empire will be having their Black Friday sale. 50% off everything in the store, and you should check it out. They got a lot of shit besides just t-shirts. Check the website in the description below and see what they got in store for you for this holiday season. But here's the real kicker for something like my store specifically. On top of the 15% off you can get from the Black Friday holiday sale, you can still use the Johnny15 15% off discount code on top of that.
How about
Good
that?
timing,
It's
too,
expired.
It's
2019.
Fans of my Let's Play channel, the Super Gaming Brothers, may remember our playthrough of LA Noire. Well, in celebration of that game's remastered re-release, and because we plan on revisiting the game, because the Let's Play is a personal favorite of many, I give you Cole Phelps t-shirt. Special shoutouts to 64bits for designing the shirt. I'll leave a link to his channel in a card up top in the description below. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate that. It's a great looking shirt. Finally, even after all that, from now to December 18th, the Pixel Empire and I got a giveaway for you guys. It's another raffle sort of shindig. One lucky winner will win an SNES Classic with 4 runner-ups winning $50 gift cards to the Pixel Empire store. As always, there's a couple of ways you can get raffle tickets. You can sign up to the Pixel Empire's newsletter, social media channels, you can subscribe to my channel. If you want the
subscribe
best
to their
chance
channel, follow their Twitter.
I really appreciate if you do that. Again, that raffle ends December 18th. Best of luck to those that enter the SNES Classic. It's a sexy motherfucker, I'll tell you.
Because they've got everything to gain, and you've got nothing to gain.
Some 16-bit gaming. Either way, I'll catch you guys in the next review. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.
That's the end of the video. It's just Bubsy floating with his golden wool, whatever the hell that is. Yeah, that was Johnny versus Bubsy The Woolies Strike Back. I gotta say about the game though, The game is definitely not worth $30 or $40. That's going in the price of a AAA gaming experience. The price range. That's way too high. Lower it down a bit. Lower the expectations of this game's price. I say $10. Yeah, I agree with Johnny. I actually said it before Johnny did. $10. I was thinking the same because it's a bit like an indie game, and you know you shouldn't really be paying more than $10 for this sort of stuff, especially with Bubsy's reputation. Um, but the controls have somewhat improved. I mean, they're not a masterpiece, but they've somewhat improved. The mechanics is somewhat improved. Not perfect, not 100% crisp and clean and wonderful and glistening, but it's a huge fucking improvement since the original. Yeah, the graphics have improved as well. Good on the graphics, but good graphics doesn't automatically mean a good game. Other than that, I'd say it's a pretty decent attempt. Maybe they could do better. You know, going around collecting wool, like 600 wool, whatever it was, you know, have a purpose to that. Don't just slap a score on it. Every time you collect like a bunch of stars or rings or items, make sure you can unlock stuff like bonus stages, maybe artwork, maybe a cosmetic items or costumes and stuff like that, just to mix it up a bit, just to give a reason why to collect all that stuff, not just to have it in the game for the sake of people running around collecting that shit. You know, have a reason. Reward the players for that sort of mechanic of going around collecting it. You know, if you had to go around collect a certain amount of items, give a reward. You must reward the players. Don't just go around collecting it and there's no reward just for the sake of a score. Because nobody gives a shit about a score these days. Nobody cares about who getting the highest score. Unless you're trying to get on the leaderboard or something. Yeah, it was a right game. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. It could have been a mobile game. It could have been full of microtransactions. It could have been pay to win, like every time you die, you gotta spend 100 wool balls or something like that. So it could have been worse. It could have truly have been worse. It could have been a seriously microtransactions game out the arse like EA does, you know, where everything's just pay to win, where you're pressured to buy everything and, you know, all that microtransaction bullshit. So looking on the bright side, this is a decent addition to the Bubsy franchise. So I'm not gonna go, oh, it's the worst, it's terrible, it's absolutely dreadful. Yeah, good for them for trying to revive Bubsy. It's a good attempt, not amazing, but it's a good attempt. It's a stepping stone to something greater. Maybe if they do a little bit more development, improvements, enhancements, a little bit more rewards within game without swiping your fucking credit card to unlock things, this could be a pretty decent game, a respectable part of the Bubsy franchise if they do it right for the next game. Yeah, give me your thoughts down below what you think of the Bubsy series because there's so many Bubsy games. Yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.